News.com. Currently, it's 66.
Your own home without the maintenance. If you're 55 or better, a beautiful Liberty Village villa could be yours. This is Erin, and I invite you to come take a tour of our move-in ready villa. Click the Liberty Village icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Simply the finest.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Raf. That's simple human sense.
Call me, Jay Peterson, your auto owner's insurance agent in Clinton, for a virtual or in-person appointment at 935-6605. That's 935-6605.
How much fun is your job?
When was the last time you jumped out of bed before the alarm and got to work early?
Do the folks around your office laugh enough?
When you get a win, does everyone on the team celebrate your success?
Does solving creative problems give you a thrill?
We know that thrill.
And if you want more of it, we want to hear from you.
We work with local business to increase revenue and grow the bottom line.
We do it by creating smart, creative advertising on air, online, and on smartphones.
Every day, the Miller Media Group team comes to work and does a job that makes things better for our listener, our client, and our community.
We also believe in the importance of a balance of work and life.
We believe it's necessary for a thriving workplace.
If you're the creative problem solver, we're looking for you. You could earn with commissions as much as $50,000 a year.
Plus, we offer generous time off.
Sound good?
Sound like leaping out of bed for?
Get started by sending an email to sales@randyradio.com.
That's sales@randyradio.com.
The Miller Media Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show is Senator Sally Turner. Good morning, Senator. How are you today?
Hey, Seth, doing great, thanks. We got a little bit of rain over here in Logan County last night, like 2/10, which was nice. Just
Yeah, did you guys
wet
get
the ground?
Did you guys get that thunderstorm in the afternoon yesterday?
Yeah, that's what we got, and it was just a little bit of that because we didn't get it in Springfield, but yeah, it's just enough to wet our beans we had in the ground.
Yeah, no question. We got a little bit of that here too. And I couldn't tell if like the moisture on the ground when I woke up was from that rain that came through or if it like had rained again in the overnight. So either way, it was good to have some rain roll through. And I know farmers are getting the crop in the ground and all those good things. And Senator, I know that of course you mentioned you're in Springfield this week. You're wrapping up the spring legislative session yesterday. The legislature, oddly enough, I can't recall this has ever happened where the mayor of Chicago came to speak to the Illinois legislature. Now, maybe it has, and it's eluded my memory. But how about the new mayor of Chicago coming to speak to the Illinois legislature yesterday?
Well, Seth, that's a great point because that's one of the questions that I asked. I've only been there. This is going on my third year, and I've never heard of a mayor coming downstate from anywhere to talk to the session in a joint session. But I guess that Mayor Lightfoot had, but she did it separately. She did it to the House and she did it to the Senate separately. But never have we had it in a joint session, which we were all like, why are we having a joint session? Usually that's for dignitaries and the president or whomever, things to that nature. So he came down to speak to us yesterday in this joint session in which we all went and sat it was in the House, so we sat next to our House members and listened to what he had to say about being the mayor-elect for the city of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Now, a news service we have that sends us pictures and news stories and such that we'll use periodically sent us a picture of Mayor Johnson Mayor-elect Johnson, I guess I should say, in Springfield. Now, I'm a sports guy, Sally, so I see this picture of Mayor Johnson and I'm like, this athlete or this guy next to the mayor looks really familiar. And I look at the caption, and it's Bulls star, like one-time Bulls star Joakim Noah. And I'm like, what is Joakim Noah doing at the state capitol? Does he even have residence in Illinois? It's like a star power comes with Mayor-elect Johnson. He has a lot of people in his corner in the Chicago community.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, I mean, Chicago is a big deal for Illinois. I mean, it's a beautiful city. People come there from all over the world. But it's an important area. But I would venture to say that Springfield, Illinois, is an extremely important capital as well. And we just had a brand new mayor elected there, Mitzi Butcher, and no one invited her to come speak to the joint session. And I just thought, I guess I thought that was very odd to have a mayor before they were even certified. So the certifications were yesterday, I believe, of the ballot, and he wasn't even the mayor yet. So I don't know. I was amazed that happened.
Well, and let's get to the substance of what the mayor had to say, Sally. What did you think? I from what I've seen you say in the last day or two here, that you weren't all that impressed with what the mayor had to offer. How about what he had to say to the legislature?
Well, as Seth, you and I talked a little bit off air a little bit. I'll say that the way he projected his speech was really good. I felt like I was at church, and he did a really good job speaking. But the content of what he spoke about, I was not impressed. He didn't address how he was going to fix crime. Except that he talked about, where these derivatives, where the crime was coming from, and he talked about that a little bit. But he mentioned he was going to, let me think what the words were, hire 200 detectives in the city of Chicago to help with crime. And then I found out that it's not that he's going to hire 200 detectives. He's going to take 200 on the beat police officers right now and move them to detectives. Now that leaves 200 police officers that are not walking the beat or the communities or whatever, leaves them without. So, and in addition to that, he never talked about where he's getting the money for some of these things that he discussed. And that was, is he getting that from the city of Chicago that's already broke, or was he going to come to the legislature?
Yeah. This to me, Sally, was an and you mentioned Mayor Lightfoot, came to the legislature when she was elected. To me, this is, and I'm sure this would have happened, but COVID interrupted the process, I'm sure. To me, this is just introducing Illinoisans to who we're going to be bailing out, because I don't think Chicago can sustain itself financially. And I think they're going to turn to the state of Illinois for a handout and a bailout.
Yeah, I agree. And he also mentioned to have a nurse and a social worker in every school and he mentioned Illinois. Okay, well, the taxpayers are paying for that. I mean, most of us share nurses all throughout Illinois for all of our taxing districts to come to our schools. That was just another thing. I was like, where are you getting your money to do all these things?
Yeah, and with people fleeing the city and leaving the city, I mean, that tax base is slowly, I wouldn't even say slowly, it's just dwindling. So yeah, that's just interesting. Anything else on Mayor-elect Johnson and his visit to Springfield, Sally?
The only other thing that I wish I would have heard him say, in additional to some of the things I wish he wouldn't have said, but what he should have said was talking about the drug trafficking that his city does back and forth up our I-55 and 57, back and forth, and we end up getting the residual from that drug trafficking, because fentanyl is poisoning our people in our areas, and it's because of they're not doing anything in the city.
Sure. Senator Sally Turner on the phone with us here for this morning. Well, we mentioned it, Sally, you're wrapping up the spring session there in Springfield. So what's of top of mind kind of for you? What are some things that have happened of late that have caught your eye or ear? How about that?
Sure. Well, I right now am with Leader McCombie from, she's the leader, the minority leader in the House. We both together have a fentanyl bill, which is a fentanyl strip bill. And what that does is it is a strip. I don't know how to explain it. It's a piece, a strip of a testing strip that you can test for the presence of fentanyl, and county health departments would have that free of charge, and then pharmacists can have that there at their facilities, and you'd have to pay for it in a facility, but at a public health department it would be free. But people can test to make sure that the poison isn't in whatever it is that they may be concerned about, from Halloween candy to maybe some drug that they have or they got from somewhere else. The whole idea is that fentanyl is a poison and it's killing people. And so that's one of the things that we have that's has bipartisan support. It's just about saving lives, and fentanyl's taking too many lives. And of course, the opioid epidemic needs to be addressed overall, but that's just something to single out fentanyl. And so that's one thing that we're very focused on, and that I and Leader McComey are focused on. But there's a lot of different things that we put out there ourselves as Republicans in the Senate, and sometimes they don't get to see the light of day. But one of the things was a sales tax, a 1-year sales tax exemption for groceries. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that might not be a whole lot of money right up front, but in the long run, that's helpful to us.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that move. Ameren rebate. Now that affects all of us. We've been on a phone call to the governor's office a couple of times. Just that bill had passed that said that to get that rebate, but we have not. That was in last session, I believe it was, or else it was in veto. But they didn't appropriate the money for it. So that would give some of our folks in our Ameren areas a little bit of money back, which would be helpful. But in the long run, that's just a tip of the iceberg. And so all of this mess with the bills when it comes to energy are out there. Child care tax credits, we've pushed that. We have a new early childhood program, and I'm on that committee. And one of the things that we're honing in on are child care deserts, which we have a lot of those in Central Illinois. You know, anybody that's got kids knows it's difficult to find child care, whether it's in home or in a facility. That's very difficult, and we are very hopeful that some of the program gets focused on that. So childcare is a big thing on our minds.
Yeah. Any movement on some of these things? I mean, it's been kind of a fast moving legislative session. It feels like. I mean, it feels like there's a lot of bills being signed and bills being introduced and moving along. How about movement on some of these, Sally?
Yeah, definitely on in the child care aspect. There's a lot of movement on that. There is no movement on anything that has to do with incarcerating an individual for anything. None. That won't even come into a committee. So the one I had most recently was for a person that was found to have a drug or a substance that contained any hint of fentanyl. That was going to be a new crime, but that didn't even see the light of day. So we'll see nothing that has to do with new penalties for anything. But I thought I'd tell you some silly things that we did see that are of no importance whatsoever, and those things see a committee hearing, which are okay. Here's one.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this. This is my favorite part of the Illinois legislature.
It's illegal for a person to hold an animal on their lap while driving.
Yes, I saw that. Oh my gosh, I saw that one. Yes, love it.
Okay. A banning of single use plastic bags. Really? I mean, you could do that in your own community if you wanted to, so that people pay the 1 cent tax or whatever it is, like they do in Chicago. No, they have to go ahead and decide to try and ban that. Oh, here's one. How about this bill would set limits on how spicy food is served in schools. What? What is that?
That's going to make
So
my kids
one,
disappointed. They love spicy food.
well, it doesn't even make any sense. And then there was one that actually passed from the Senate the other day, and that was bears and okay, let's see how. Let me think how this went. People can't have interaction with primates or bears. Okay, where did that come from? So I guess it has something to do with that people can spread germs to primates. Like if you're in a zoo and they have like a monkey that's like hanging out and you could pet it.
Huh.
But who's gonna go try and pet the bear? I,
I mean,
yeah,
I
those
guess
were
we could poke a bear. That would be.
yeah. Well, we should poke a bear a lot, but those types of things you just want to shake your head and go, why? All the problems that we have. Why are those things so important? Well,
Mhm.
they're important because someone's constituent from some area brought that forward and said, this is really important to me. I really wish you'd get this through. And they do.
Yeah. The one or two people that come to them about it. So. Oh
Yeah.
man, you gotta love it, right? That's one of my favorite parts of the legislative sessions is watching them take on these ridiculous bills when there's greater problems to be dealt with. I mean, and I understand you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Like that's not really the issue. It's like this is really what we're focusing on. It's like it's the time dedicated to this when there's other things we should be really talking about.
Absolutely. We have some huge problems that need to be addressed. And us forking out the money over and over again, this uh, great amount of money that the governor thinks got laid in his lap this last year, if he thinks that's going to last, I believe he's sorely mistaken. It is not going to last.
Yeah.
We're going to see, we had a lot of things coming down the pike that are going to be disruptive to all of us in the next few years. And those are things that we need to make sure that we buckle down, manage our money correctly, just like we would at home.
I want to ask about, Sally, your fentanyl bill that hasn't been called to committee even yet. It just feels like that is kind of counterintuitive to the decarceration mentality we are headed towards in Illinois. How about that?
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right, Seth. That's what the idea behind it is. They don't want anyone to have to go to jail anymore for anything.
Mhm.
That's the whole idea behind it.
Mhm. Well, Sally, let's take a time out here. Let's come back with some more. State Senator Sally Turner on the phone with me. More to come with Sally coming up on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network, corn, beans, and wheat all starting the day in the red. May corn, 665 and a quarter, down 7. July corn down 9 3/4, 626 3/4. September corn, 560 3/4, down 7 3/4. May beans, 1491 and a half, down 15. July beans, down 16, 1462 3/4. August beans, 1405 and a half, down 17 3/4. May Chicago wheat starting today, 670 and a quarter, down 11 and a half. July wheat down 11, 681 3/4. September wheat, 692 3/4. That's down 11. May bean meal, $449.40, down $5. May bean oil, $54.67, down 35 cents. That's a look at the opening numbers on this Thursday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
If you think a new or used car is in your future, the time is now to call the Baum Chevrolet Buick sales team here in Clinton or Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. With a professional sales consultant in your corner, the vehicle search is easy. Meet with our sales team to go over your wants and needs. We'll start the search and do all the legwork for you. With so many models and options to choose from, we can help you get the information you need. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
Here's owner Dave Jackson from your Clinton Save a Lot on how inflation is affecting all of us.
I peg the inflation rate on groceries at 20, not 8.
20%.
20 at least. And that is just a massive, that's, tenfold what it was back. You have to go back to the 70s. So this is the worst inflation in my lifetime. They say since 1980. I'm going to go back farther than that.
Despite that, Dave still provides you selection and savings at your Clinton Save a Lot. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hope to see you soon.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. State Senator Sally Turner, my guest on the phone for today. Sally, we were catching up when you called me up this morning that you've got my alma mater, Lincoln High School, a group coming from Lincoln to check out your office and visit Springfield today. What's going on there?
Yeah, actually, we have lots of groups that come and visit us. We had LTEC from Lincoln that came to visit us. Also, I'll talk about one of the drives that they helped us with, and I want to talk about that drive before we end. But we have the CEO program that comes to speak with us about various, how they got started, things like that, and then get tips from us about different things they can do with their product. And then also, I help link them together with people that I know that maybe can help them with their product. We have another group that's coming. Let's see. I think they're coming. What day is this? This is Thursday. They're coming Monday. It's funny how I lose track of what day it is. They're coming Monday. Deer Creek Mackinac. They're coming to visit up at the Capitol. So groups, a lot of times when we get toward the springtime, there's groups that like to come by the Capitol and see where we work. And it's interesting, too, because they'll see the fact that our offices are in the Stratton building, and then we have a session in the Howlett building, and then all of our meetings are in the Capitol. So they'll get to see all those areas. They're limited visits on the Senate floor because it's so small now, but they redid the Howlett building. So that's it's a nice experience for kids to come to learn about what we do and to actually see that it's not this high level, out of reach, out of touch thing that you can achieve. It's people there are just like you are. They're just doing what you sent them there to do. And I think that helps resonate with kids to see that maybe is something that they want to do and get involved in public service.
Sure. And I know that, you, Sally, I don't know if you ever had aspirations to become a state senator, but you got involved locally, and that was kind of your journey to where you're at now, correct?
Yeah, I had no aspirations to do what I'm doing now, but I did always have the aspiration to serve. Ever since I was young. And then, throughout my life, I did a lot of missions work, worked at my church, and then got elected to county clerk and recorder for 6 terms. And I enjoyed helping people, but also having that knowledge base of how county government worked, which then, of course, led me to my position in the state Senate. And I appreciate that groundwork, that how that was laid out for me. God chooses a path for you, and you just need to try and find out what that path is and try and follow what he wants you to do.
Very good. Well, Sally, a few minutes yet still with you here. When the legislative session wraps up here, is it tomorrow it wraps up? What comes up after that for you?
Oh, yeah. So we go all the way to, supposedly our last day is May 19th.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. That depends on, budget and things of that nature, how long it lasts, if we get the budget 5 minutes before it's passed and all those good things. But Seth, one of the things I wanted to mention to you is every now and then we try and highlight different areas at different times. Like this time it's going to be around Mother's Day. And we're having a diaper drive for Mother's Day. And it's not just diapers. It's diapers, wipes, baby wash, lotion bottles, strollers, baby monitors, things that have to do with babies and helping new mothers out and things that they might need. Our office is collecting those donations here in Lincoln from April 17th, which we've just passed, to May 8th.
Okay.
And we will deliver those to the Pregnancy Resource Center the week of Mother's Day.
Now, where is your office at in Lincoln, Sally?
We are located here in Lincoln. It's right across from the courthouse, next to the post office. That helps with directional. And it's 120 South McLean Street. It's in the Farm Bureau building.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to drop off any diapers or baby wash or, anything they might have extra that maybe they didn't use, a package of bottles or a nursing pillow or car seat cover, something they did not use that's new. If they could drop that off, we greatly appreciate it, and to help these new moms.
Sally, great stuff. That's excellent. We appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you making time with us. State Senator Sally Turner on the phone. Network news on the way on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG.